Drew, I just arrived at the hotel for the trip.
Oh, it's you. Are you enjoying yourself so far? How's the place?
Yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. The room here is even bigger than my apartment. I'm already feeling so relaxed. I can just imagine how comfortable it's going to be to unwind here. It's funny, but family trips are nice, of course, but, trips with my close mom friends have their own special vibe. It's such a different kind of fun and relaxation.
I'm glad to hear that. By the way, I was thinking I should mention something to you.
What's going on?
Tomorrow, I might not be able to check my phone as much.
Oh, what's happening? Is work getting in the way?
Yeah, kind of. It's gonna be a bit of a hectic day, and it looks like it might turn into a big thing. I'll be pretty tied up. Oh, and Amy's staying with my parents for the day, so that's all arranged. I don't have to worry about her while I'm busy.
Ah, I see. Got it. Sounds like a packed day ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So don't worry about me. Everything on this end is fine.
Okay, understood. I won't bother you then.
By the way, who exactly is with you on this trip? Just curious.
Oh, it's Smiley's mom and Bree's mom. Is that a problem?
Not really. I was just confirming. Just checking who's with you, that's all.
Ah, gotcha. Well, I'm off to grab dinner with my friends, so I'll catch you later. And don't forget, I'll bring back some cool souvenirs for you. I can't wait to see your face when you get them.
Yeah, don't have too much fun without me, all right? But seriously, don't go overboard and get too crazy.
Drew, I'm home. I just got to the station.
Welcome back!
Sorry it's a little later than I thought. I didn't plan on it taking this long, but I'm really sorry about the delay. By the way, I was wondering, could you come pick me up? I've got a ton of luggage, and it's kind of too much for me to handle on my own.
You have that much stuff with you?
Yeah, well, you know me. I can't resist buying souvenirs. I kept thinking, oh, this one's perfect. And that one too. Now I've ended up with more than I can carry, and it's kind of a mess.
I'm sorry, but I might have had a bit to drink before I realized the time.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, it's just this thing I do after a bath, I usually have one drink to unwind. It's just part of my routine, and I didn't think much of it. But then after I had it, I realized, oh no, I might be late.
I totally get it. I mean, I ended up running late too, so it's no big deal. You know what? I'll just grab a taxi and head home myself. You don't have to worry about it.
Sorry about that. I feel bad, but thanks for understanding.
Hey, Drew. Are you away right now? I've been calling for ages and I'm starting to get a little worried. Can you pick up, please? I can't hear the phone ringing from inside the house. Did you put it on silent or set it to vibrate? Is that what's going on right now? I'm starting to wonder if you're just ignoring me.
Oh, wait, did you get here?
Yeah, I'm here now, but the key, well, it's not fitting into the lock properly. I don't get it. What's going on? Do you think maybe my key's broken or something? It's just stuck.
Wait, hold on. I didn't mention this to you, did I? I actually moved yesterday.
What? Wait, hold on. You moved? Why didn't you tell me? What do you mean you moved?
You remember when I told you about the chaotic big move the day before yesterday? That's what it was. I really didn't get the chance to tell you the full details, but yeah, I moved.
Wait. Didn't you tell me you had work to do? You were busy, right?
I mean, moving itself is like a full-time job. It's a lot of work. I did mention it in passing, but I guess I didn't go into specifics. I figured you'd understand.
Hold on, stop right there. How could you forget to tell me something this huge? How could you not mention it? This is massive, and you just didn't think to mention it? Even if this is some weird surprise, it doesn't make sense to do something so big without giving me a heads up. It's just not right.
A surprise? Well, now that you mention it, I suppose calling it a surprise would make sense, but wait, that's not the point. This isn't just a surprise, it's a huge change.
What is going on with you? What are you even trying to pull here? Okay, fine. What's the new address? Where are you living now? Tell me now so I can come to see you. Don't leave me hanging here. I've had enough of this uncertainty. I'm really ready to just rest.
No, I'm not gonna tell you.
What? What do you mean you're not going to tell me? Are you serious right now? Why are you being so difficult?
I don't think you're getting it.
Wait. No, now I get it. You're hiding something, aren't you? You're seeing someone else.
What are you talking about? Are you seriously going to accuse me of something like that?
You're cheating on me, aren't you? This whole move, everything you've done, it's all so you can live with her, isn't it? Some woman you've been hiding from me?
Why do you always jump to such conclusions? Seriously, where is this coming from?
Because, Drew, how else can I explain this? Who is she? Who's the one you've been sneaking around with? I need to know.
Hold on a second. Just because you think this way doesn't mean I'm doing the same thing. You can't just assume that.
What? Are you saying that I'm the one cheating? Are you saying that I'm the one who's been unfaithful? That is completely absurd. That's not true.
Ah, I get it now. So this isn't about cheating, it's an affair?
What?
Yeah, it's not technically cheating, but it's an affair, isn't it? If someone who's married goes and has a relationship with someone else, it's called an affair. I'm just saying that's a much more fitting term for what's been going on.
Wait, hold on. What are you even talking about?
Actually, this trip you went on, it's literally a textbook example of what an affair looks like. You can't even pretend that wasn't what it was.
What?
A 2-night, 3-day trip, huh? Was that fun? It must have been quite an exciting time for you, right? So much fun while I was left in the dark.
Hold on, wait, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh, wait, I know. I hate it when I speak vaguely, don't I? Fine, I'll be clear this time. Let's stop playing games. Listen, you've been seeing someone else. Bry's father. That's right, Eleanor's husband. You didn't think I knew? This whole trip was timed perfectly for when Eleanor was going to visit her parents, wasn't it? And you brought Miley along, who's also been having an affair with her boss. What a nice little double affair trip you two planned.
What the hell? Who told you these things? You're just repeating whatever you've heard without even considering it. Are you serious? Don't just believe whatever nonsense gets thrown at you. This is a huge deal, and you're just jumping to conclusions like this? You don't get to move out because of this. You are messing with my life, Drew. How could you do this to me? You're divorcing me, but you better believe I'll be getting alimony from you, and I am not backing down. No splitting up assets, nothing. I am keeping what's mine. Amy's custody? That's mine, and you can't take that away from me. And don't even think about avoiding child support because I'll be getting it from you.
You think this is gonna be easy, don't ya?
Well, it's too late for your apologies. Don't even bother trying now. What the hell is this? Is this some kind of joke?
This is a picture Eleanor sent me. It's a photo she provided as proof.
Wait, hold on. This can't be real.
This photo shows Lenore's husband bringing you into his house. I know because it's the exact same spot I saw you two together.
How do you even have this?
Well, there's a pet surveillance camera in the living room. She didn't even tell her husband about it. And guess what? It caught you both on camera without him realizing. And there's more footage where that came from. I don't think you want to see it. Trust me, it's a lot worse.
What are you doing with Bree's mom? Why would she even do something like this?
Eleanor knew about her husband's affair already. She didn't sit around feeling sorry for herself. She started investigating everything, and she knew about both of you. She found out the truth, Skylar.
Wait, you're telling me this whole time she knew? I thought we were fine when we spoke at the kindergarten drop-off. There was nothing strange about our conversation.
Yeah, well, I didn't notice anything either. But once I started looking deeper, the truth came out.
Hold on.
I found out about your affair 2 months ago, and I knew about your little getaway a month ago. During that time, I was getting everything ready to move out. Just so you know, I've already told my work about this. I've been straight with them, so whatever happens from here on, you're not going to be able to keep things the same. You'll be kicked out of here.
Wait, so you've been planning this all along, and you didn't even tell me?
No, that's on you. You called it a mom's trip, didn't you? You invited your mom friends, but the truth is it was an affair trip. It was a cover-up for what was really going on.
So you think this is just going to be swept under the rug?
No, not a chance. After everything that's happened, living together is impossible now. This is it, Skylar. We're done.
But we have been living together for the past 2 months. You couldn't have been okay with that.
You have no idea how painful those 2 months were for me. And don't even get me started on that apartment. Your dad hates that place. He made it clear to me. And even though the lease is in my name, I'm the one who's leaving.
Wait a second. I just realized. This whole thing with the key?
Yeah, I changed the locks without telling your dad, so what? It's your dad's fault for not keeping track of things.
What?
I've already talked to your parents, Skylar. They know everything and they're backing me up. They know I'm moving out and they've approved of it. They're on my side.
What? Why would they agree to this?
When I told them about your affair, they were devastated. They even apologized to me. Now they're supporting everything I'm doing.
But this doesn't make sense.
As for the move, I didn't hide anything. I just told them I was leaving while you were away. The idea to change the locks was your dad's. He wanted to make sure you couldn't just waltz back in here without facing what you've done.
What? Why would he go that far?
It's simple. He didn't want you to come back and pretend nothing happened. He thought it would be better to send you back to your parents' house to confront what you've done.
What?
So the apartment's canceled, and guess what? Your stuff is already at your parents' house. Your dad moved it all yesterday.
Wait, you moved my stuff out without even telling me? You want me to go to my parents' house right now? You want me to deal with them after everything that's happened?
Yeah, that's the plan. Enjoy the reception you get when you walk in.
What?
Your parents are so mad right now they want to explode. But they know I need to do this, so they're letting you stay there.
No, you've got to be kidding me.
Depending on how you act when you get there, who knows what'll happen. But right now, it's just about surviving it.
Wait, you can't be serious.
By the way, your parents should be walking up the stairs to your apartment right now.
What?
I just got a message from them saying they're coming up now.
Wait, what?
The only way to get into the building is up those stairs, so you can't get away. You might as well sit tight and wait for them.
Wait a second. How is the timing so perfect?
Because I contacted them. Oh, and just so you know, Lenore's husband has already agreed to the divorce. Miley's mom is on the same path, too. But I guess you've got more pressing matters, like dealing with your parents. I don't think you have time for messages anymore, do you? From now on, everything will be handled by lawyers. Goodbye, Skylar. The discussions surrounding our divorce progressed more smoothly than I initially expected. I had prepared myself for a lengthy and contentious battle, especially over the custody of our daughter. But surprisingly, things didn't turn out that way. I thought for sure that custody would become a major point of contention. However, a few unexpected revelations changed the course of the conversation. It was discovered that my ex-wife had frequently left our daughter in the care of Miley's mom, one of her adulterous partners, as well as another individual involved in her affairs. This came to light during the proceedings, and it quickly became apparent that she had been neglecting her parental responsibilities. This revelation became the heart of the issue, and in the end, it led to me being granted full custody of our daughter. In the aftermath, I've made sure to settle near my parents' home so that I can receive their help in raising my daughter. They've been an invaluable support system, especially considering the circumstances. Raising a child on my own isn't easy, but with their assistance, I'm doing my best to provide our daughter with a stable and loving environment. My parents have been there for me every step of the way, helping me navigate this new chapter in my life. As for my ex-wife, things haven't gone as she may have hoped. After the divorce, it seemed she was planning to remarry her former lover, Eleanor's ex-husband. She was eager to begin a new life with him, but her plans were quickly thwarted by her own parents. They stepped in and strongly opposed the idea of her remarrying, putting a stop to it before it could even take shape. I imagine it must have been frustrating for her to have her choices so heavily restricted, especially after everything that had happened, but considering the way she acted during our marriage, I can't say I feel much sympathy. What really impacted her was the alimony that was imposed after our divorce. The financial compensation that she was required to pay wasn't something she could easily afford. And while she might have initially thought she could somehow avoid the consequences, her parents stepped in to cover the costs. In doing so, they ensured that she couldn't escape her obligations. It seems like she's now living under the watchful eye of her family, repaying the money she owes by working at a relative's business. The arrangement isn't ideal, but it's the situation she's in for now. From what I've heard, she's not exactly happy with the restrictions placed on her life, but at least it's giving her the opportunity to pay off her debts and rebuild some semblance of stability. Though I may not have much compassion for her in terms of what she's going through, I can't deny that I feel a sense of satisfaction in knowing that she's facing the consequences of her actions. In the end, things have worked out well for me, at least in terms of custody. I'm focused on being the best father I can be for our daughter, and I know I'm giving her the love and care she needs. It hasn't been easy, but it's the right thing for both of us. As for my ex-wife, it's clear that she'll have to face the fallout from her decisions for some time. Whether or not she can rebuild her life from here is uncertain, but for now, she's tied to her family's expectations and the responsibilities that come with her choices. I've learned a lot throughout this whole process. I've learned that life doesn't always go the way we plan, but sometimes that's for the best. While the divorce wasn't something I ever wanted, I now see that it was necessary for both my well-being and my daughter's. I'm still figuring out the finer details of life as a single parent, but every day brings a little more clarity. I'm working hard to ensure my daughter has everything she needs, and I've come to realize just how much strength I have in me. I can only hope that as she grows older, she'll understand the sacrifices I've made for her and appreciate the stability and love I've worked so hard to create for us both. The future remains uncertain, but for now, I'm focused on doing my best, and that's all I can do. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Sarah, you've decided to go back home? Why? When I was just about to arrive at Mom and Dad's place, did you decide to leave? Don't you think that's a little too rude for us sisters? Are you not even going to at least say hello to your younger sister? I heard that you'd brought your boyfriend over here, right? Could you bring him to see me at least one time, please? Hey, stop trying to ignore me, you ugly loser. You're getting really annoying again, so could you shut up? Who the hell are you calling annoying? Do you think you have the strength to call me that to my face? Maybe you're just pissed at me still because of how ugly you turned out. Now, hurry up and answer your little sister properly. I'm still on the road driving home, but I've pulled over at a gas station to fill up, so I guess I can talk to you now. Well, none of that matters right now. What really matters is talking about that man of yours. I heard that you guys are even engaged now, huh? Why do you think it's okay to not introduce him to your sister and just go home? Because I don't want him meeting you. That's my reason. All you are is a piece of crap sister that calls anyone she ever sees ugly and worse than you are. That's really embarrassing at your age, and it is for me too, so I didn't bother waiting for you to get home. I get that you're saying that to sound all tough, but I know the real reason. You didn't want him seeing me because you're afraid I'd take him from you. I bet that the moment he gets a glimpse of my face, he'll jump right off your train and onto mine. He would never be able to take a look back at you once he's seen my gorgeous face compared to your ugly one. That's not at all what I was afraid of. I just don't want him near a vile piece of garbage that spews out all this horrible crap and then thinks it's okay just because it looks good. That's the whole reason I made sure you were out of the house for a while before I came over. But you came back a bit earlier than expected. Yeah, whatever you want to say. Seems like it's not only your appearance that's ugly, huh? Well, this time was just bad luck on my part, so I'll forgive you. However, next time, make sure you let me see him when you're around. There won't be a next time, Brandy. I had only gone over there to let them see who I've been dating and to let them know that he's the man I'll be marrying. And I'm not really planning to throw anything big to celebrate us, so there's really no need to invite you guys to anything. So that was the last time I'll be around you guys ever. Huh? What the heck? You're not even going to get my permission to marry him before you go? I don't really care what you think of us. You're not my parent. And it's not like you care about what happens to some ugly girl like me, right? It's still burned into my brain all the memories of how Mom and Dad treated you so much better than me just because you looked cuter to them. I was told over and over again that you got more than me because you were cuter, and that's the whole reason they never even paid for me to go to college. Right as I had graduated middle school, I had to run away from you guys and luckily was accepted into an all-girls private school that had a dormitory for me to stay in. And when I had asked one time to have a little bit of money for college, they turned me down, so I had to rely on scholarships to get me where I wanted to go. I'm sure you understand now why I had to cut ties with you all for a long time, right? And once again, I am going back to no longer involving myself with you all, so please respect that and leave me alone as well. You have a good point that I shouldn't care about what happens to an ugly little duckling like you, but I'm actually only interested in that man you have there. He's the same age as you, right? And just as I had heard from Mom and Dad, he has a really cute face and is just my type. I bet if he got a look at me, he'd be all over me. What the hell are you saying? Could you calm down a little with those fantasies of yours? His name's Logan, correct? When you guys were backing out of the driveway, he must have gotten a good look at my face, right? I bet that blew him away after looking at your ugly face for the past few years. But aren't I a little too old for him? I bet that he's regretting ever getting engaged with trash like you. I doubt that. And Logan told me that he wasn't interested in you when he got a glance. I think all of that is in your head and in your head only. Or could it be that you're just trying to avoid the inevitable here? Well, he sure is a great-looking man. That face is perfect for me. He graduated from Harvard, right? And is now working for a very large bank, right? He has literally everything that I need in a man. Yet he's going to waste all of that on some lost cause like you. Oh, that poor thing. I'd really love to show him what a real woman can do for him. Excuse me? What the heck, Brandy? I bet I could even get away with getting him to do as I say. He's going to be younger than me in the relationship, so I could act like a dominating sister at times. So what do you think about me marrying him for you? I'd really like it if you handed him over to me soon. What? Have you completely lost your mind now? Is this what it looks like when a middle-aged woman hasn't found a man in years that will love her? I'm telling you that his face is my type, and he's going to have a really successful future. I guess I've just been caught in his net. And when it comes to family, it should be the younger sister getting married first, right? Compared to a run-down-looking girl like you, I should be the one with a man wrapped around her. No, what the frick? That's not going to happen. I hate to have to bring this up, but didn't you only graduate from high school and with awful grades at that? You even had to retake a year, and when looking for work, you went through 3 different jobs before you finally gave up. And you're 9 years younger than I am, making you close to 25 right now. I doubt that you'd ever be able to make conversation with a man like him. Huh? My past education and my job experience have nothing to do with love. My job as a wife is to take care of the house and the family. And I'll use my lovely body and face to make him feel like a king every time he gets home from work. I also have that big sister vibe that a lot of younger guys are into nowadays, so I don't need an education or a job. You'll do the chores and raise a family. You will? All I've seen from you is staying in your room and laying around all day while Mom and Dad still care for you. Mom has to do all the chores for you, and Dad has to still give you an allowance. You think that once you get married, you'll just stand up and do a 180? That'll never happen. You just keep on running your mouth, don't you? I've had enough of this, so just listen to what I'm saying. I'm going to be taking your man, so now hand him over. And then take yourself out to find someone that's a little less attractive and a bit more of a shut-in. I have no idea why you think you can talk to me like this still. I knew for a long time that you had something wrong with you, but I'm starting to wonder if you're even human. You're so freaking weird that I can barely even begin to think of any comebacks with you. Do you really think I enjoy listening to some strange alien talk to me in another incomprehensible language? I'd watch what you're saying, Sarah, because both Mom and Dad are going to be on my side here. Huh? They always let me do anything I want, no matter what it is. I already asked them, and they said that one of their daughters would still be getting married, so nothing would change, and that with me being married to him, it'd make a ton more sense since my beauty matches his. So that Logan is going to be marrying me. I'd hurry up and give up on him so that you can start looking for someone a little less attractive. What the hell is wrong with you all? Do you think that Mom and Dad would really do that? Stop talking out of your butt and go away. And get those gross thoughts of my fiancé out of your head. I have no idea what had gotten into you, little Miss Ugly. I'm just asking that you do as the family says and give him to me. Letting him marry you would be a total waste. I bet he would also love to be with a woman like me anyway, so you both get back in your car and come back here for the handoff. He's my fiancé after all. My little Logan. I'm gonna vomit. Listen, Brandy, Logan has been reading all of this conversation, and he says he wants to have a word with you. I'm going to let him speak with you now. What? Really? I bet he's going to propose to me. Oh, I'm so happy. Hurry up and give him my number.
Nice to meet you. I'm glad to be able to marry your younger sister, Sarah, and my name is Logan Bohr.
Well, nice to meet you as well. We just got to meet only a little while ago, huh? I'm Sarah's younger sister, Brandy, and I look forward to marrying you.
Well, my fiancée is Sarah. You have no relation to me besides being my fiancé's sister, so please stop what you're doing.
You don't have to hide your feelings for me anymore. Hey, you can give up on that ugly girl and come and marry me instead. I know that you have an interest in me, right, Logan? I knew by the way you looked at me while backing out of the driveway that you had started to get feelings for me. I suppose this is love at first sight, you and I.
I'm not enjoying listening to these jokes. I had only been looking at you to understand who Sarah's sister really was. And about that love at first sight, unlike you, I didn't feel such a thing while looking at you. The person I'm going to marry is Sarah.
Are you really all right marrying someone as ugly as her? You don't have to keep our love for each other a secret anymore. If you didn't know, she's always looked that bad ever since she was born. If you marry that kind of a girl, you'll end up with ugly children as well.
Unlike what you keep thinking, I don't find Sarah to be ugly in any way. To me, she's a very cute and lovely woman. And since she's the most important person to me, I don't want to hear you talking poorly about her anymore.
You have to be joking, calling her cute. Logan, have you really not noticed just how horrible of a person you've been dating? I suppose we'll need to get you a pair of glasses before the wedding, you poor thing. I bet that the moment you put those bad boys on and see my looks compared to hers, your heart will change in an instant. I think you deserve to have a good-looking wife like me, don't you think? And by having a hot-looking wife in your house, your status will go right up. So go get rid of that girl and come back to a beauty like me.
I'm sorry. I know that you've been going on and on about how good-looking a person you are and whatnot, but have you taken a good look into a mirror lately? Well, to put this bluntly, and I'm sure this will sound rude and all, but you don't look as good as you hype yourself up to be. I'm sure that has to do with you neglecting your hygiene, right? I've noticed that you have a ton of pimples and blemishes on your face that really stand out. Also, your skin looks to be really oily, and I couldn't help but wonder when the last time you took a good shower was. And, well, I'm not sure what to say here, but from the way you've been treating my fiancé, it seems like you have something mentally wrong with you that needs to be addressed.
What? Are you saying I'm hard to look at? Me? That could never be. How rude of you to say something like that to me.
I told you I would be blunt. I never meant for any of that to be mean towards you, but since you keep making fun of my fiancé, I had no other choice than to state some very obvious facts about you. Honestly, I'm angry with you, so I had no choice but to tell you off like this. Compared to you, Sarah not only looks better than you, but she has a way better and healthier heart than you do. Really, it's hard to even compare you to someone as amazing as her.
Stop screwing around, Logan. Are you seriously going to sit there saying that she looks better than me? How could that possibly be? Maybe I was wrong about you having a hard time seeing and needing glasses. Really, you seem to just be blind to what true beauty is.
Well, if that's the case, then I'm fine being blind. At least I still get to love a woman that doesn't have a warped soul, who finds it okay to pick on her little sister and threaten to take her fiancé from her. So I'm glad to be marrying Sarah.
Warped? What makes you think I'm that bad of a person? You need to get a grip, Logan. There is no way I could be that kind of a person. Apologize to me right now. You can't call me any of that. Now come over here and get on your knees and apologize to me. If you don't apologize to me right now, I'm going to disown her.
Well, that would be great, actually. She already had to leave that house when she was 13 because you guys never cared for her. And this whole time she had been trying her best to at least let you guys know about her life and me becoming her fiancé. So if you think you have to disown her, well, it'll take a lot of weight off her back and mine. And she's already told you that she no longer wants you guys around her anymore, so this is just perfect. Also, I plan to take great care of Sarah as she becomes a part of my family. So you won't need to worry about how she's doing anymore.
What? What is wrong with you? What are you thinking? You'll be stuck living with an ugly witch for the rest of your life, you know, and she's going to be cast out by her family. Why is any of that okay with you?
Because unlike you, she is a very beautiful adult that has succeeded in many things on her own. She doesn't even need to rely on a man like me to function and can do all she needs to on her own. And that's what makes me love her so much. So compared to you, she's a perfect woman.
What?
And as a final note, I have never in my life dreamed of marrying an ugly, unkempt, and unemployed woman. I'm gonna bring the girl of my dreams into my family in a few months, so while I'm busy enjoying my dream come true, go ahead and do whatever you want. And don't you ever show your pimples and oily face around us again. And make sure to let your parents know what I've said here as well for me. Anyway, I hope to never see you again.
After I finished the conversation with my younger sister, I made a decisive decision to block her from my life. I was done with the toxicity she had brought into my world, and I realized that cutting ties with her was the best choice for my own peace of mind. The conversation had been a long time coming, and when it finally happened, I felt a mix of relief and empowerment. But what really struck me during that time was Logan's reaction to the whole situation. He had been calm and composed, but his words to my sister showed just how deeply he cared for me. His protective instincts were clear, and I felt a warm rush inside knowing that he was on my side, standing up for me in ways that I had longed for but never thought I would receive. It wasn't just what he said that impressed me, but how he said it. He was firm but never raised his voice, yet every word he spoke hit like a ton of bricks. I think my sister had never been talked to like that before in her life. She was used to getting away with things, to manipulating others into giving her what she wanted, but this time Logan was different. He didn't let her get away with her behavior, and I think that was the wake-up call she desperately needed. I could see the shock in her eyes as he called her out on her actions, and for the first time, I think she finally realized that not everyone would tolerate her entitled behavior. But it wasn't just my sister who received Logan's wrath. He didn't stop at just confronting her. He also spoke directly to her parents. The way he addressed them, telling them how they had enabled her behavior for so long, really opened their eyes. My parents had always been blinded by their love for their daughter, and it took someone like Logan to pull back the veil and show them the ugly truth. For so many years, they had been in denial, making excuses for her, believing that she was simply misunderstood or that her actions could be excused by her youth or circumstances. But Logan didn't hold back. He told them exactly what I had been too afraid to say for so long. And in that moment, the filter was lifted. The reality of the situation hit them hard, and they had no choice but to accept it. The days following that confrontation were tense. My sister became a shell of the person she once was, retreating to her room and not coming out except to grab food. It was almost like she was in hiding, unable to face anyone. I think, for the first time in her life, she was confronted with the full weight of the consequences of her actions. No longer could she rely on her parents to shield her from the truth, and she was forced to reckon with the person she had become. Her parents, too, had changed. They began to treat her differently, no longer tolerating her entitled attitude. I had always felt that they had coddled her, that they had never held her accountable for her actions. But now it seemed like they were finally seeing her for who she really was. They stopped giving her special treatment, and instead, they started to tell her what they always should have. They told her that she needed to get a life, that she wasn't going to be handed everything just because she was their daughter. Day after day, they would tell her she was a failure, that she wasn't living up to her potential, and that she was going to have to face the real world with no help from them anymore. I think that deep down, my sister had always known she wasn't the person her parents thought she was. The entitlement, the spoiled behavior, it was all a defense mechanism. She had never been forced to confront the truth about herself, and now that she was, she didn't know how to handle it. It's hard to change when you've been given everything for so long and never had to work for anything. Eventually, Brandy reached her breaking point. After hearing her parents tell her that she was worthless and a failure every single day, she snapped. She told them that she was beautiful, that she didn't need anyone's validation, and that she would show everyone how amazing she truly was. With that, she decided to leave home and try to find a modeling job, convinced that her looks alone would be enough to open doors for her. Unfortunately for Brandy, the world didn't work the way she expected. She visited agency after agency, but each one turned her away. Her looks alone couldn't make up for her lack of self-awareness, her poor attitude, and the arrogance she carried with her. I'm sure when she walked into those agencies, the people behind the desks must have been amused by her confidence. But I can imagine they saw through the facade. It wasn't just the fact that she didn't take care of her health that made her unattractive to others. It was the bitterness and insecurity that radiated from her every time she spoke. Her rotten heart and inability to accept criticism or rejection only made her even more unappealing. It didn't take long for Brandy to realize that her dream of becoming a successful model was never going to happen. After being turned away from every agency, she had nowhere else to turn but back to her parents. But this time, things were different. When she returned to their house, they told her she was no longer welcome. They had finally reached the end of their patience, and they made it clear that they would no longer support her. They told her that she had to face the consequences of her actions and that it was time for her to figure things out on her own. With nowhere else to go, Brandy was forced to leave her parents' home and live on the streets. It was a sobering experience for her, and although I don't take any pleasure in seeing her suffer, I couldn't help but feel that it was something she needed to experience. It was the harsh reality she had been avoiding for so long. For the first time, she had to face the world without the safety net of her parents.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hey, Matt, your business trip started today, right?
Yeah, that's right. Just like I mentioned this morning, I'll be away for 2 nights and 3 days starting today. I wrapped up my work at the company in the morning and then left right after lunch to catch my flight.
Got it. So everything seems like it's on track with no changes in the plan, right?
Yep, that's right. No changes so far. Wait a second. What's up with you today? You don't usually ask me about my schedule like this. You're being extra curious today.
Well, it's just that I'm also going on a trip starting today, so I figured it would be a good idea for both of us to keep track of each other's plans, just to be on the safe side.
Oh, I see now. So you're going on a trip with Miley from Virginia, huh?
Yep, that's right. Just like you, it's a 2-night, 3-day trip, and there are no changes in the schedule.
Got it. So everything's set for both of us then.
But, I feel kind of guilty. I feel like I'm the one just going off to enjoy myself while you're stuck working and staying away for business.
Oh, come on, don't feel bad about it. It's not like that at all. Business trips can actually be a bit of a break, believe it or not.
Really? I wouldn't think of it as a break. I thought they were all about work.
No, really. Once the work part of the trip is done, it's actually quite relaxing. After meetings or whatever business I have to take care of, I get to just chill at the hotel and not worry about anything. In fact, it's probably healthier than sitting at a desk for hours on end, staring at a screen all day.
Wow, I never thought about it that way. I always imagined business trips were just exhausting.
Trust me, they can be, but there's a certain freedom to it that's hard to explain. It's like I'm out of the office and just getting to reset. It's nice. You should try it sometime.
I'll keep that in mind. Anyway, I think it's about time for me to head out and meet Miley now. We've got a few things planned for the day.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm also about to head out now, so we're both off to our own trips.
Right, let's both enjoy our time away, even if it's for different reasons. I'll message you again later tonight once I've settled in. It'll be nice to catch up.
Sounds good. I'll be looking forward to it.
All right then, take care on your way and have a safe trip.
You too. Don't have too much fun without me, and enjoy the time with Miley.
Matt, how's it going on your side?
I just finished work and checked into the hotel for my business trip. Man, I'm exhausted. So tired.
Work can really drain you, huh?
Yeah, it really does.
What kind of work did you have today?
Just a normal business negotiation. I can't go into too much detail since it's about company matters, but we were finalizing details with the other party about the next contract renewal.
Oh, wow. You traveled all the way there just to handle a contract renewal? That's pretty intense.
Well, this is with one of the most important clients for our company, so it's kind of a must. It's also a bit of a courtesy call, you know?
Got it. By the way, your company seems pretty generous.
Huh?
I mean, allowing one employee to stay in a suite that cost hundreds of dollars per night for a business trip?
No, that's not how it is at all. Sure, in big cities or tourist destinations, it's okay if the price is a bit higher. But even then, it's usually around $100. The trip isn't to a big city or tourist spot, so the prices are pretty reasonable.
So you're saying New York City isn't a big city or a tourist spot?
Wait, what?
Actually, I just checked into the hotel where you're staying for your business trip.
What? But you were supposed to be traveling with Miley.
Yeah, Miley and I are here on a sightseeing trip in New York.
Wait a second! But you were talking about looking forward to the outdoor bath, right? Wasn't your trip supposed to be to a hot spring resort?
Oh, that. We're planning to stop by a ski resort on the way back, which has an outdoor bath. I was talking about the outdoor bath there.
Are you serious?
So, I guess you figured out what's really going on now, right?
What? What do you mean?
Whether you're genuinely clueless or just pretending not to know, let me clarify. Amy Jackson.
What?
She's your business trip companion, right? But wait, why are two people of the opposite gender staying in the same room for a business trip? Doesn't that seem a little inappropriate from the company's perspective?
Oh, I see. You must have seen me and Amy check in together. It's actually the hotel's mistake. The suite room mix-up is their fault, too. They were supposed to prepare another room for us, but I haven't heard back from the front desk yet. Something's weird, huh?
Even if you call the front desk now, it won't help.
No, really, it's true. There's no reason to think anything shady is going on. The hotel made a mistake, but that's it.
It's not a hotel mistake. You booked the room from the start with the understanding that you and Amy would stay in the same room, right? And it was Amy, the little princess, who requested the suite.
How do you know that for sure?
Because I've got proof.
What?
Haven't you figured it out yet?
Figured out what?
This is the same hotel we stayed at when we were in college with our club, remember?
Oh, yeah, I remember that, but so what?
I'm glad you liked the hotel, but Maybe it would have been better to do a little more research beforehand.
What are you talking about?
You still don't get it? Well, there should be a hotel brochure in the room. Go ahead and open the page with the innkeeper's greeting.
Fine. What is this even about?
Look on the table. Just go ahead and check it out.
Fine. Okay, I'm looking at it. Wait a minute. The innkeeper? It's Miley?
That's right. Miley's the innkeeper here now.
Wait, hold on. When we came here last time, the innkeeper was a woman in her 40s or 50s, wasn't it?
That was the previous innkeeper, Miley's mother. Her health worsened recently, so Miley married the head chef at the hotel and took over as the innkeeper.
Seriously?
And by the way, the hotel's owner is Miley's father. When I was in charge of the club's trip reservation, that's why I knew how things worked.
Wait a second. Does this mean that the reason we got free dessert and drinks back then?
Yep, that was a gesture from Miley's father. Now, let's get to the current situation. When you booked the twin suite for your stay, it was Miley who handled your call.
Wait, seriously?
At the time, she was in work mode, so she avoided personal topics, but you were on the phone saying, "We'll be staying as a married couple." So Miley must have assumed you were coming with your wife. She even reached out personally to recommend some spots. When she found out what was really going on, your affair came to light, and, well, here we are.
No way!
So let's continue. Amy, your affair partner, is the only daughter of one of the company's executives, right?
What? You looked that up too?
Well, of course, since my husband is having an affair, it's only natural I'd find out everything.
So it's all out in the open now?
That's right. So what are you going to do about it?
I don't care. I love Amy. So just divorce me already.
That was fast, huh?
Say what you want. Amy's beautiful, elegant, and pure. Most importantly, she's the daughter of the company president. She's way better than you.
Now that you mention it, you've always liked the elegant, refined characters in games and movies, haven't you?
Yeah, that's true. Amy is like a real-life version of the ideal, refined woman I've always dreamed of.
I see. Well, let me get back to the point. I do want a divorce, but just to make sure you're aware, you know you'll be the one paying alimony, right?
Of course.
Well, then I'll be asking for it, and I'm assuming you've got the money to pay?
Well, of course. Like I've said, Amy's the daughter of a company president, and she's the only child, so if we get married, I'll become the next president. This company's way bigger than the one I'm working at now, so paying alimony will be no problem at all. It's like I'm hitting the jackpot. I'm gonna be living the dream just like those stories in games and movies. This is my lucky break. I can't let it slip away.
Wait a second. Do you not know?
Not know what?
The heir to that company is actually their nephew.
What?
Yeah, it seems he's already set to take over as president next year.
What? Nephew?
Yep. And by the way, Amy already has a fiancé, and there are multiple men courting her. You're just one of her playthings.
What? You're lying, right? This can't be true.
Oh, you didn't know all this, huh? How cute.
Wait, does this mean I can't become president?
Well, that's right. But I don't think you should be shocked about that right now.
Wait, there's more!
Amy's father is furious about your affair with his daughter. He actually called your company and canceled the business relationship.
What?
He said, "I refuse to do business with a company that has such irresponsible employees."
No way! That's company confidential! There's no way they could leak that! So you must have no idea what you're talking about! You're just making up stories!
Well, you see, we're here now. Amy's father is right here with us.
What?
I had already planned to confront you with the affair, and when I told him about it, he insisted on coming to finalize things here today. Oh, don't bother calling. We're staying in the room next door.
What?
Well, let's move to your room to talk. We'll bring in the lawyer, too, and settle this face to face. Right after this, we barged into the suite where Matt and Amy were. The door swung open and the atmosphere immediately shifted. It felt almost surreal as we entered the room where the two of them had been, not just living out their own private drama, but making decisions that would affect all of us for the rest of our lives. The scene inside was tense. Matt and Amy were sitting on the couch looking almost stunned, not expecting the confrontation that was coming their way. They had no idea we were coming, but they should have known better. This was the end game, the point of no return. The lawyer who had been with me throughout this ordeal stepped forward, his demeanor cool and professional as always. He was the one leading this entire process, ensuring everything was done legally and properly. He advised me at every stage of this chaos, and now it was time to put everything into motion. Under the lawyer's direction, we were about to settle things right then and there. The divorce papers were placed in front of them. The moment had arrived. There was no going back. Matt's face, already pale from the overwhelming realization of what he had done, grew even paler as the papers were pushed toward him. Amy looked more resigned than surprised, her expression a mixture of shame and inevitability. She knew there was no escape now. The damage was done. Her actions and Matt's had led to this moment. Without wasting any more time, the lawyer instructed both of them to sign the divorce papers immediately. It wasn't a request, it was a demand. There was no room for negotiation or hesitation. They had both made their choices, and now they had to deal with the consequences of those choices. The room was thick with the weight of the situation, but there was no alternative but to comply. After all, this was the only way to legally dissolve the mess they had created. The signing was done quickly, almost in a robotic manner. Neither of them looked at each other as they signed, but their eyes flickered briefly toward one another, a fleeting moment of shared understanding that, for all the passion and connection they had once felt, it was over. The life they had tried to build together, the lies, the betrayal, the broken promises, it all led to this moment, and now there was no turning back. The lawyer took the signed papers and began to finalize the details. As for me, I felt a strange sense of satisfaction. This was the culmination of months of emotional turmoil, of uncertainty, and of pain. Finally, it was all coming to an end, but in some ways, it was only the beginning of a new chapter for me. I had been patient through this whole process, waiting for the moment when I could take control of my own future, and now it was time. But Matt wasn't the only one affected by this. His company had been hit hard by the scandal surrounding him. The affair between him and Amy had gone public in a way that was impossible to ignore, and the backlash had been swift and severe. Their biggest business partner, who had been a longtime supporter of the company, was so disgusted by Matt's actions that they severed all ties. The deal they had been working on for months fell apart, and with it, the company lost millions of dollars. It was a massive blow, one that left the entire organization reeling. The company's upper management, not willing to tolerate the scandal, made the decision to cut ties with Matt. The resignation was inevitable. In a way, he had no choice but to leave. His presence had become toxic, and despite his previous position and contributions to the company, there was no recovering from this. The damage was too great. He was asked to resign, and there was no going back. His professional career, much like his personal life, had collapsed. And as the one who had caused all this, Matt had no one but himself to blame. The worst part for him, perhaps, was that there was no dignity in his departure. He was escorted out of the building in disgrace, with whispers and stares following him wherever he went. It was a humiliating moment, one that would stay with him for the rest of his life. The man who had once been so confident, so secure in his career, was now left with nothing but the ruins of his past decisions. As for me, I wasn't about to let this pass without claiming what was rightfully mine. I'd suffered enough, and I was going to make sure that Matt and Amy paid for what they had done. The emotional toll had been heavy, and though money could never fully compensate for the hurt and betrayal I had experienced, it was the least I could do. I demanded a lump sum payment from them as alimony, one that would make sure I didn't have to deal with this situation for the rest of my life. There was no hesitation on my part. I wasn't going to allow them to walk away from this without facing the financial consequences of their actions. I was going to ensure that I was compensated for everything, every moment of pain, every sleepless night, every ounce of emotional energy that had been drained from me. They had taken so much from me, and now it was time for them to pay. I demanded the full amount up front, no installments, no payment plans, just a lump sum. And surprisingly, they agreed. Amy, who had been once so sure of herself, looked defeated as she handed over the payment. Matt, too, seemed resigned to the fact that he had no choice. It wasn't a victory, not in the true sense of the word, but it was justice in some form, and that was enough for me. Looking back, I couldn't help but think that, in some ways, I had been fortunate. Despite everything that had happened, there were no children involved. If there had been kids in the picture, things would have been much more complicated. Child custody, visitation rights, and the emotional toll on the children would have been overwhelming. I was lucky in that sense, though I knew it wasn't something I could take for granted. The emotional scars were still there, but at least I didn't have the added burden of worrying about a child caught in the middle of this mess. As for Amy, the fallout of her affair was swift and unforgiving. The acting world, once full of promise for her, turned its back on her completely. The news of her betrayal spread like wildfire through the industry, and it wasn't long before her career came to a screeching halt. No one wanted to work with her anymore. The scandal had ruined her reputation, and she had nowhere to turn. She had once been the promising starlet with a bright future, but now she was nothing more than a cautionary tale. Her engagement to Matt was officially called off. It had been a short-lived romance, one that had burned bright and fast before fizzling out in spectacular fashion. Promises of love and a shared future had crumbled into nothing, leaving Amy with only the remnants of her shattered dreams. To make matters worse, Amy found herself cut off from her family. Her father, as he had promised, disowned her. The rejection was swift and harsh, a final blow to someone who had already lost so much. It wasn't that her father had never warned her about her actions. He had made it clear that if she ever brought shame to the family, he would not hesitate to cut ties. And true to his word, he did just that. There would be no forgiveness, no second chances. Amy was on her own, without the safety net of her family to fall back on. With nowhere else to turn, Amy found herself working at a night establishment. It wasn't glamorous, but it was the only way she could make ends meet. She had once dreamed of being a star, but now she was stuck in a world far removed from the glitz and glamour she had once known. The work was difficult, and it wasn't long before the reality of her situation set in. She had no choice but to keep pushing forward, even as her dreams of stardom slipped further and further away. As for Matt, after everything had fallen apart, he retreated back to his family home. But instead of picking up the pieces of his life and trying to rebuild, he chose to hide away from the world. He locked himself in his room, isolating himself from everyone and everything. It was as if he had given up. There was no effort to find a new job, no effort to move forward in any meaningful way. Instead, Matt became obsessed with anime and video games. It was as if these fictional worlds were the only thing that could give him solace. He threw himself into these virtual realms, living out romantic fantasies with two-dimensional characters. It was strange, almost pathetic, to see a man who had once had everything retreat into a world of escapism. He seemed to find more comfort in these imaginary relationships than in confronting the harsh reality of his own life. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
The year-end party is over. I'm so drunk I can't walk, so I'm staying at a colleague's place tonight. I'll head back in the morning tomorrow. Can you make sure to clean the house up so that it's spotless before I'm home tomorrow?
All right, understood. Just try not to cause too much trouble, okay? We've received enough complaints now, and I can't take any more regarding you.
I know. By the way, I was talking to my boss today about something. It's about my parents.
Your mom and dad? What did he say?
Well, it's not like he said anything bad, but a few years ago the company went bankrupt and Dad became bedridden, right? And Mom's been taking care of him. He said, it must be tough for your mom.
Yeah, that's true. Your mom is already over 70, so it's basically elderly care for elderly people. Even though a home care nurse comes, I bet it's still really tough on her.
Right, you think so too, don't you? She's pushing herself hard, poor Mom. At this rate, Mom might even collapse too. I'm really worried thinking about it.
Yeah, I can see why you'd be worried.
So, I was thinking about something. Since it's tough on Mom, do you think you could take over the caregiving for a while?
Huh? What do you mean, take over?
I mean, go to my parents' house. I want you to take care of Dad instead of Mom. Mom can't keep doing this forever. And if you go, Mom could have a bit of a break and we'd all feel better about it, right?
No, wait a second. You're just saying that so casually, but that's impossible. It takes 5 hours by plane to get to your parents' house. That's not a distance you can travel frequently. And even if we decide you'll go a few times a month, getting involved halfway might just end up being more of a hassle.
You don't even have to commute from here, just move over there.
Huh?
If you don't want to get involved halfway, then it'd be better to move and take over the caregiving full time, right? I'm fine with living alone for work.
Living alone? Are you saying I should go live at your parents' house while you stay here?
Wow, I have work here, and I think it would be best if you go. Yeah, that sounds like the best option. If you stay at my parents' house, then we won't have to rush over if something happens.
But I have work too.
It's just part-time, right? Why don't you quit?
Quit? Just because it's part-time doesn't mean I can quit easily. It's tough with the staff shortage.
But it's not like you can't quit. You could totally do it. Don't worry, it'll be fine.
Don't say it like it's nothing. What about the housework once I go to your parents'? Dan, you've never made a proper meal before. And what about the kids? Do you think you can take care of both of them on your own?
Oh, right. You could just bring them with you, can't you? It's a relaxing place, and the kids will probably enjoy it. I remember when we brought them to my parents' house last time. They had fun, didn't they?
It was just a 2-night stay during summer vacation. If we're talking about moving there, that's a completely different story. There's no hospital, no middle or elementary school nearby, and no trains.
How are you going to raise 2 kids there and care for your dad, too, all by yourself?
Well, Mom can help out. If you go to the next city, there are hospitals and schools, and there's a car at my parents' house, so it'll be fine. Dad will get better seeing his grandkids every day, too. It's all good, right?
That's not realistic, I'm telling you. The kids are in 6th and 5th grades. They're working hard for high school entrance exams. You want to uproot them just because you had some idea? They have lots of friends here, and they're really motivated to go to the same middle school as their friends. You know that, right?
But I've been thinking for a while now. Is there really any point in making elementary school kids take entrance exams? You're pushing them too hard with the exams. I think they're stressed. Maybe they'll feel better if we move to the countryside and get rid of some of that stress.
Stress relief? Yeah, but they'd be more stressed out if they can't go to the school they want and everything changes suddenly. The whole point of the entrance exams is what the kids want. They want to play soccer without having to take high school exams. And that's something you should let them do without interfering.
But it's impossible for me to live alone with the kids. I can't do any of the housework, and I don't know anything about school stuff. So don't you think it's only fair if you go with them?
That's why I'm saying I won't go. If your parents come here, that'd be another story.
Moving your bedridden father around sounds tough. That's not realistic either, is it? Do you think your mom and dad can fly 5 hours?
No way, right? It'd be much easier if you went.
It's not about what's easy or not. Taking the kids and going all the way to the countryside just to take care of your dad? That's just crazy.
It'll be fine. Mom knows all about the paperwork and stuff. If we just go, we'll figure it out somehow.
In the end, you're just leaving everything to your mom and me. You say you want to ease your mom's burden, but you're just adding to it. You want to stay here, enjoy yourself, and pile all the work on me and your mom and the kids. That's unbelievable.
Why are you complaining so much? What is it? Do you not want to take care of my parents? You're just talking about how difficult it is, but is that all?
That's not it. I've thought about living with your parents if it ever gets too hard for them, but I've never considered just me and the kids moving there. It would be a burden on them, and I've said it's impossible for us to go now. Besides, I don't understand how you're just completely avoiding responsibility for your parents.
I'm not avoiding responsibility. I'm just working hard here, and I expect you to take care of the caregiving. It's just a matter of dividing the roles.
That's your decision to make the roles based on your own convenience. What about my convenience? What do you think our lives are?
Once you get married, you're supposed to compromise with your partner. If things don't go exactly as planned, you can't get angry. Besides, childcare and caregiving are the wife's job, right?
I am speechless. Forget it. Seems like it's pointless to talk to you. Please make sure you send the child support.
Oh, so you finally understand. Don't worry, I'll send the money. We should act quickly. Let's move next weekend. Pack up your stuff and the kids' stuff. Let's start preparing. Good night.
You really only think about what's convenient for you, you idiot.
Hey, where are you right now? When I got back home, all the things I had packed were completely gone. Everything was missing. Did you seriously head to your parents' house already? We had agreed to move next weekend, didn't we? You know, we had a plan in place. I wanted to see you off. I even planned to give you a proper farewell, but now I'm seeing you've jumped ahead of everything. You should have waited. This is a bit too hasty, don't you think?
I'm already here at my parents' house. The kids are with me as well.
What? You're already there? Wait, I haven't even told Mom that you and the kids were coming to stay. You must have really surprised her, huh? It must have been such a shock. How did it go? Is she happy to see you? Did she take it well?
I honestly don't understand what you're talking about. We haven't gone to your parents' house. We are at my parents' house right now. The kids and I have settled in here.
Huh? Why are you at your parents' house? Oh, I get it. You're visiting them since we won't be able to meet for a while? Is that why you came all the way here? For a little break before we actually move?
That's not it. I've moved in with my parents, and I'm here because I'm getting ready for a divorce. It's happening now.
Wait, what? Divorce? What do you mean divorce? Are you serious? Are you out of your mind? Why are you suddenly saying something like that? After everything, this is where we're ending up?
I can't do this anymore. I am done. I've had enough of trying to make this work. You keep trying to sacrifice my happiness and my children's future for the sake of just your parents. You never listen to what anyone else has to say, and you keep pushing your opinions like they are the only ones that matter, as if that's how it should be. It makes me sick to my stomach. You're even trying to ruin the kids' exams, which is so low, I can't even believe it. If you keep on like this, I'll have no choice but to get a divorce. I have reached the breaking point.
Wait, no, hold on a second. What are you even talking about? All I asked was for you to help my mother. Don't you think my parents are in need? Don't you feel bad for them at all? Why are you so quick to turn your back on them? What's wrong with helping out a little bit?
You're mixing things up. I do feel bad for your parents, of course I do, but that's not the issue here. I am not responsible for fixing things for them, and neither is the rest of the family. This is your responsibility. They are your parents. Why am I the one being asked to take on all of this? And now you're going to rob the kids of their dreams for the sake of your parents' situation. Do you really think that's okay? As a parent, I have to ask, what kind of person does that? What kind of parent would take away their own kid's future like that?
So what? You're telling me that you're just going to abandon my parents for the sake of your children's dreams? They're so young! Why do they even need to worry about middle school entrance exams? I never had to go through that pressure, and none of my classmates had to deal with this either. This is all overblown.
That's not the point. The problem is that you didn't try to find a balanced solution. You could have looked into different options, but instead you chose to put all the responsibility and the burden on me and the kids while ignoring your own family's needs. You never even considered finding a better facility for your mother. You didn't think to look into support programs or other solutions. You just assumed I'd take care of everything for you. Honestly, I am just so disappointed. The kids were upset when I told them about all of this. They started crying, and it broke my heart. They don't want to leave their friends behind. They want to focus on their studies and take the entrance exams. You have to understand, things are different now. The world is different from when you and I were their age.
But my mom is in such a bad situation. She needs help. Don't you get it? She'll be devastated if she finds out you've completely shut her out like this. Are you really gonna turn your back on her like this? Taking care of your in-laws is your duty as my wife. That's the right thing to do.
Enough already. This whole situation is just an excuse for you to manipulate me and treat me like a tool that's supposed to serve your needs. I am not here to be your pawn, and I am certainly not here to be used for your convenience. If you think the kids are going to pick up on all this, you're wrong. If they see how you're acting, it is going to influence them negatively. They'll learn to be selfish, and that is the last thing I want for them. I've made up my mind. I am done. The divorce is going to happen. This isn't going to work anymore.
Why? Why are you doing this? Why can't you just listen to me for once? Do you really think that you can raise the kids alone, just by yourself? You're a part-time worker. You can't possibly handle everything on your own. How are you gonna pay for their exams and all the other expenses? You're the one who's gonna ruin their future, and you're not even seeing it.
You promised me child support, right? You promised that we'd figure it out. I am going to find a job, and my parents will help me. I'm going to make it work. It's going to be okay. So stop acting like everything's falling apart. It's not that big of a deal. I'll handle it.
Fine. Then let's try to figure out a way for your parents to come here. I know it's gonna be a bit tough, but it's probably the best thing for everyone involved. I'll talk to Mom about it, see if we can come up with a plan. Just please try to calm down a little. Can we please just talk and work this out?
Don't you understand? This isn't about your parents. That was just a trigger. What I'm telling you is that I don't trust you anymore. I don't feel comfortable anymore, and I can't keep living like this. I've made my decision. I am done. I am going to have a lawyer handle everything from now on. I don't want to talk to you directly anymore. You'll hear everything from them. I'll send you the lawyer's contact details, and you can talk to them directly.
What? You're really going to do this? You're gonna go behind my back and make decisions without even talking to me? No, wait, this isn't right. You can't just cut me off like that. I don't want a lawyer involved. Please, just think about it for a minute. We can still figure this out. We're a family. We can find a way to make this work. Just come back. Let's sit down and talk one last time.
I told you no, I'm not coming back. The kids are fine here with my parents. They can concentrate on their studies without the distraction. We're not going back to your house, not now and not ever. This isn't going to work, and I'm done wasting time. I'm saying goodbye.
Wait, hold on. Please, just don't go through with the divorce. Please, give me one more chance. Let's talk without lawyers. We can sort this out ourselves. I'll do anything. Kara, please. Don't ignore me. Please, I'm begging you.
After that, Dan came to my family home, desperately trying to take me and the children back, but he was met with a furious confrontation from my parents. They shouted at him so loudly that he had no choice but to leave in a dejected manner, his head hung low. It was as though he had been completely defeated. At first I could see the stubbornness in his eyes. He wasn't ready to accept the reality of the situation, and his determination to control everything was evident. But my parents' harsh words and their no-nonsense attitude seemed to break him down. It wasn't just the argument at my parents' house that caused things to spiral out of control. During one of our later discussions, which was supposed to be calm and mediated with our lawyer, Dan completely lost his composure. His temper, which had always been unpredictable, flared up in an instant. He began yelling at the lawyer, something I never expected, and before anyone could intervene, he physically lunged toward them. The scene was chaos, people shouting, trying to pull him off, and the lawyer was clearly shaken. It didn't take long before the police arrived at the scene. Dan was arrested for his outburst and aggressive behavior, and they took him away, handcuffed. It was a surreal moment for me, one that I never imagined would unfold in this way. Looking back at it now, I can't even recognize the man I once married. He wasn't the person I fell in love with, nor was he the person I thought I knew. This man who once held such promise, the man who seemed to be thoughtful and kind-hearted, had completely unraveled. His true nature came out at the worst possible time, and the emotional and physiological toll it took on me was immense. I didn't want to believe it at first, but his actions left me with no choice but to accept that our relationship was beyond repair. After everything had calmed down, I realized that the best thing for me and the children was to go our separate ways. And so after a long and painful period of legal proceedings and strained discussions, we ended up divorcing. It was final, and I never saw him again. There was no reconciliation, no meeting in person to discuss things one last time. We just went our separate ways, no closure, just a bitter finality. For me, it felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders, but for him, I'm sure it was a completely different story. In all honesty, the hardest part of all of this wasn't the conflict with Dan. It wasn't even the tense legal battles or the emotional toll of dealing with everything on my own. The hardest part was what happened when I spoke to Dan's mother. She had always been kind to me, always supportive, and it pained me to see her in such a state. When I explained to her what had happened, she broke down in tears. She cried harder than I had ever seen her cry before, as though she had lost everything. She seemed so helpless, and I felt an overwhelming sense of guilt and sadness. Not for me, but for her. It was as if the divorce had taken something from her too, something that she couldn't control or stop. I never blamed her, not for a single moment. She was a kind woman, and she didn't deserve to be dragged into the mess her son had caused. But seeing her in that state made me realize just how much damage had been done, not only to me, but to the people around us. The ripples of the divorce reached further than I had anticipated. It wasn't just me and Dan who were affected. It extended to our families, friends, and even acquaintances. People who had no part in the conflict were caught in the middle, and it made me feel even more conflicted. I tried my best to console her during that moment, even though I was hurting myself. I told her that none of this was her fault and that I didn't blame her and that I didn't want her to feel guilty. I didn't want her to think that she had failed as a mother, but it didn't seem to comfort her. She kept crying, her face contorted with pain, as if she couldn't understand why things had ended the way they did. She kept asking me what went wrong, what happened to her son, and as much as I wanted to explain it to her, I didn't have the words. How could I explain to a mother that her son had changed in ways that I didn't recognize? How could I tell her that I had done everything I could to salvage the relationship, but that nothing worked? I wanted to tell her that Dan's behavior wasn't her fault, but in some ways, I felt like the fault was not just his, but all of ours. We had all contributed to the breakdown of our relationship in one way or another. I had stayed for longer than I should have, trying to hold on to something that wasn't there anymore. Dan had tried to force a reality that wasn't true, trying to control the situation and refusing to see the truth. And she, Dan's mother, had been in the middle, torn between supporting her son and trying to make sense of what was happening. I knew that she loved him and that she wanted the best for him, but sometimes love isn't enough. As I continued to speak with her, I tried to reassure her that she would get through this, that she still had people who cared about her and that she could move on from the pain too. But I could tell that the situation was weighing heavily on her. The idea that her son had turned out this way, that his actions had pushed us to this point, was too much for her to bear. I could see the sadness in her eyes, the heartbreak of a mother who felt like she had lost her child. Despite all of this, I knew that I had to move on for the sake of my own peace and the well-being of my children. I couldn't let myself get caught up in the pain of others, no matter how much I wanted to help or fix things. The relationship with Dan's family wasn't my responsibility. I had to focus on what was best for me and the children. And as much as I cared for his mother, I had to accept that the situation was out of my control. Over time, things began to settle. I continued to keep in touch with Dan's family, especially his mother, though the relationship was never quite the same. I would call her from time to time, especially when I felt like she needed someone to talk to. We would have video calls occasionally, just to catch up and make sure everything was okay. I didn't want to cut ties with her completely because I knew that she was a kind woman who had been caught in a difficult situation. We both understood that things would never go back to how they were, but we could still maintain some form of communication. As for Dan, I never saw him again. I heard through mutual acquaintances that he had been struggling to deal with everything that had happened, but I couldn't find it in myself to feel sorry for him. The man I once knew was gone, and all that was left was someone who had caused so much damage that it was impossible to repair. He would have to deal with the consequences of his actions on his own, and I was no longer part of that equation. In the end, life went on. I found my own path, and though the scars of the past would always be there, I knew that I had done what I needed to do. And as for Dan's family, I still cared for them. But I learned that sometimes you have to let go of things, no matter how painful. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.